What's going on, everybody? We're going to go ahead and get ready to get the show started in just a little bit. We're definitely going to go back and talk about a little bit of this game as the Tennessee Titans get a W 17-10 over the Carolina Panthers and improve to 4-7 on the year. And I have my thoughts about this game, and it might be a little shocking to some of you what I think about this football game as I was watching it unfold. But we're definitely going to get into that. We're definitely going to talk about that. First things first, definitely make sure I share the show out to everybody. Let everybody know where they can come on in and join us for this show. And we're probably going to get ready to get started in just a few moments. And we're going to get into this game. Won't hold you too long. We'll talk about it a little bit, and we're definitely going to definitely get more into it. So we're gonna get the show started. We're gonna get everything ready to go in less than 60 seconds. Good evening, Titan Nation. How's everybody? What's going on, everybody? Titan Nation, how's everybody doing? Welcome into TNT Post Game. I'm your host, Chris, aka Blue Enforcer, and we are going to try to have a very good episode on this evening as the Tennessee Titans find a way to get a W. They get into the win column for the first time in about a month. They get into the win column as they defeat the Carolina Panthers 17-10 to improve to 4-7 on the season. And we're definitely going to talk a lot about this game and my thoughts on it and the way that I feel about this game may be a surprise to some and probably not much of a surprise to others, but we're definitely going to go into that. First of all, make sure you go ahead and share this show out. Go ahead and share the show out to everybody. Go ahead and share it out, whether it be on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Definitely, if you see it, go ahead and tweet that and invite some of your Twitter followers to come on in. Also on Instagram, make sure you definitely do the same thing and invite your Instagram followers to come on in as well. Same thing on Facebook. Definitely make sure you do that. And also, I will have the live stream up on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple, and Google Podcasts, along with this episode tonight. I will definitely have it up then. And I'm going to definitely go ahead and we're going to do this show because I am going to try to watch some of this Bears-Vikings Monday Night Football game. And also I'm going to be watching the Monday Night Raw tonight, definitely after a crazy Survivor series. If you haven't, go back and check it out. I think it's on Peacock. You can definitely go check it out if you have Xfinity and definitely see what happened. It was crazy. But also, everybody, if you're coming on in, make sure you smash that like button. Go ahead and help me out. Go ahead and like the show. And also, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you are new to the channel. Go ahead and subscribe and ring the bell so that way you will get all the notifications when I do go live, and that way you could be a part of the show as well. And I would definitely appreciate that very much if all of you come on in and give a like to that show. And before we do keep going, I do want to give a very special happy birthday out to a very dear friend of mine and a friend of the show and a friend of the TNT household, and that is Ms. Joy Davidson. I hope you have a very nice birthday. Happy birthday to you. We'll be talking to you very, very soon. That much we promise you on that. But definitely let's talk about this game. The Tennessee Titans get a victory 17-10 over the Carolina Panthers at home yesterday. And I'm going to be perfectly honest with all of you and say this. Am I one of the only very few that's like not really happy with this win? I mean, I think number one, it was an ugly football game. I thought the first half was kind of cool, but the second half, not that great. And I just wasn't happy with the way this game was going. I think defensive line came out very well and did a very good job. They, kept Adam Thielen in check, and they harassed Bryce Young and things like that. But honestly, I just think number one, we were facing an inferior opponent. You were supposed to win that game. Even though I picked them to lose the game, because I honestly thought with all the news surrounding them and the morale being down, that I thought this would be a perfect game that they would have lost. But they found a way to win. They got the job done offensively. Will Levis wasn't great, but did enough. Derrick Henry with 2 touchdown runs definitely helped them out. Congratulations to Derrick Henry getting over 9,000 yards in his career. If he stays with the Titans one more year, he could break the Titans rushing record for most yards as a Titan and get over 10,000 rushing yards if he comes back next year. So I definitely give congrats to the King for that. And, definitely that was probably one of the only bright spots of the game. And Nick Folk banging a 53-yard field goal home, I thought that was actually pretty good. But other than that, I wasn't very impressed. That was a rec league game. Yes, I know your team won as well. I'm not really caring about that. Can't believe we won. I honestly thought the last couple of possessions Carolina had, I'm thinking Carolina finna go down and tie this game. I'm like, I've read this book too many times. So, Ms. Mims is obviously happy that the Tennessee Titans won. I mean, hey, look, and I get it. Everybody's saying, like CW saying, second half offense, Levis missing reads. He even said that in the post game, which I did like that he did take accountability. We knew Derrick Brown was gonna be a handful. We knew they were gonna be a handful. And I know CW's talking about both tackle struggle. Duncan did better than Dillard. I mean, it was his first start. He had some good moments, and then there were some not so good moments. But I think for his first start, I didn't think Jalen Duncan was all that bad. I think it was pretty decent. I think Radens was okay. Still gotta go back and look at the film a little bit more. But I mean, hey, I agree. Way better than Andre Dillard. Very much better than Andre Dillard. I will definitely agree with that. And I know everybody will say, hey, Truth, the win's a win. You take them as you get them. Don't apologize. Don't be mad that we won. And I'm like, okay, hey, I'm like, yay, they won. So what? You beat a 1-9 and now 1-10 Carolina Panthers team who is worse than you, has a worse offensive line situation than you, has a quarterback that's about to be ruined, which, depending on what Carolina does, now that, of course, today the report came out that Frank Reich got fired in Carolina, that things could be on the way up for him. So it's like, I hear a lot of Titan fans, a lot of Vrabel apologists like, yeah, now we're going to get on a winning streak. Yeah, now we're going to win some games. We're just 2 games out of the wild card spot. Yeah, we're going to start winning. Let's take this win with a grain of salt. Because really, even though and this is just my opinion and my opinion alone, even though the Titans won this game, you really lost this game. you really lost when you really, really think about it. And we'll get into the schematics of the game in just a minute. But the fact of the matter is, yes, with some other teams that fell, you lost 4 draft spots with that victory. You were slated to pick 6. Now you're all the way down to 10th because of that one game. Had you lost, you're probably in a way better situation. You're probably in a better situation draft-wise, maybe not necessarily morale-wise. You would be in a better situation. But if you look at it from a draft point of view, you really messed yourself up by winning. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I don't think this victory does a whole lot for you. I mean, yeah, congratulations. If you're 3-8 with the way everything else happened, you're in 5th right now. If you lost that game, you're in the top 5. And then if the Bears won tonight, you would be picking 4th by the end of the night if you had lost this game. So, I mean, I would have rather taken the loss. I would have rather taken the loss, even though it would have been humiliating. Maybe that would have set the organization straight about Mike Vrabel, because I think he's incompetent and I don't think he's a good coach. And I know Vrabel is thinking he's safe and he's untouchable, and that's going to feed into his ego. But seeing what happened to Frank Reich today after 1 year, yeah, Miss Amy can come out all she wants to say, we're behind Vrabel. Vrabel's our guy. Remember, Frank Reich just got fired after 11 games into his first year and got fired. Remember, we're in this exact same situation that we were a few years ago with Mike Mularkey. Even though some will say that's a different situation. No, it's not. It's very, very similar. John Robinson got hired. Mike Mularkey was already head coach. So basically, it was a shot. They like to call it a shotgun marriage. That ended up not working out. Because at the end of the day, John Robinson wanted to hire his guy. The definition of a shotgun marriage: hurried or enforced. Hurried or forced. That's what happened with Mularkey and John Robinson. It was a shotgun marriage. It was forced, and it didn't work. John Robinson wanted to hire his guy, and he thought, well, I better hire Mike Vrabel now before somebody else does. We're in this exact same situation now. And it didn't even help that a report came out not too long after the game was over either. Because again, Bobby Slowick is out there. Could be a coach. Rand Carthon might think, I may have a chance to turn my offense around. I better go get Bobby Slowick while I can, because I may not get another shot. So, again, you lose 4 draft spots. Yeah, you get a victory, and it's probably looking like that might be one of your last victories you're going to get this year. Next week, you got the Indianapolis Colts. That's not going to be an easy game. They're better. They're in the 7th position wild card wise. Now, if you win that game, playoffs could be a possibility, but I don't see it happening. And plus, Gardner Minshew, he's been your kryptonite. He's had good luck against you. And then after that, it just gets rocky, because then you go to Miami. We all know we're going to lose that game. That's pretty much guaranteed. I'm putting all my money on Miami for that game, and I'm putting all my Miami fantasy guys in that game too. Tua, Jalen, Tyreek. I'm putting them all in that game. Absolutely. And then you got 2 against the Texans, Jags, and you sprinkle in 1 against the Seahawks. At best, they're going 5-12, but I see 4-13. And they got lucky they won yesterday because we played some crappy football in the second half. Will Levis, let's get into the game. Will Levis, not his best game. Looked pretty decent in the first half, went 18 of 28, 185 yards. Some nice plays sprinkled in there, but he definitely missed on some throws. He had one to DeAndre Hopkins. He kind of threw behind him. Threw a pass up for Tajay Spears, nearly got him decapitated. Tried to go across the middle on a play to, I want to say with Nick Westbrook-Akina, had DeAndre Hopkins wide open for a touchdown, didn't even look his way. So, and CW, I agree. He was getting away with some of those runs, and Bryce Young would have did more damage if it wasn't for penalties on his own offensive line. Derek said we had one job to do. We couldn't even do that. I agree. And CW says, you know they're not going to lose on purpose. I'm not saying that they would. I'm not saying that they would lose on purpose. And I'm not asking them to. I just didn't think I thought with the way things were going, this is a game they normally would find a way to lose. And now CW saying he's going to get an off season, so get over with. I'm with the decision if it fails next season. I'm not going to get over it because we ain't got another offseason to waste. I mean, if you got a chance to really fix this now and get bad coaching out and maybe get better coaching in, you do it while it's good. Don't be telling me I need to just accept it. I'm not going to accept it. I expect excellence. I expect victory. And Mike Vrabel's not giving it. What the hell has Vrabel done? Okay, yeah, he went to an AFC championship 4 years ago. He won Coach of the Year once and hasn't done anything since. So quit acting like Mike Vrabel is just this godsend and we got to give him the benefit of the doubt. No, we don't. And quit blaming John Robinson for everything. See, now, C-Dub, I got love for you, but you done kind of triggered me. I'm fired up now. Because the fact of the matter is, don't be giving Vrabel any excuses. Don't be giving him the way out. Randy's to put his foot down and come to his senses and understand there are better coaches out there than the one we got. This one ain't taking us to no Super Bowl, and he's proven it. Oh, my God. Some of you Vrabel apologists really need to get a clue. Y'all think we done won one game, and all of a sudden we're going to be great all of a sudden. We beat a hapless team and looked lifeless in the second half doing it. Levis only threw for 185 yards, didn't throw for a touchdown. Derrick Henry, yeah, he had 2 TDs, and I give him that. But he should have had over 100 yards. Levis should have sliced and diced through this defense. We should have won by more. It should have been a 27-10, 30-10. We can't even score 30 on the damn Carolina Panthers. What the heck does that say? Yeah, C-Dub, see, you done triggered something. You done triggered something. And see, now I'm fired up. I was gonna keep it cool. I was gonna keep it calm and collected. I'm thinking CW did that on purpose because you knew I was gonna get. You knew that was a trigger for me. I feel like you did that on purpose. And if so, hey, thank you, because maybe that's what I needed. All you Vrabel apologists out there like, yeah. Now you see why Vrabel is such a good coach. Whoop the freaking do. You beat a hapless 1-10 Carolina Panthers team who sucks worse than you do, worse than we do. And stop with all this crap about we didn't have any horses. See what I'm saying? We don't have the horses. Vrabel is doing the best. You can blame him once, screaming he ain't gonna do anything. Well, my show, I can do what I want. And the fact of the matter is, don't quit giving. All of y'all need to quit with these damn excuses about, well, we ain't got the talent. We ain't got the horses. Damn it, we got the number 1 seed in 2021. We didn't have the horses then. We ran through 91 freaking horses with less talent. Everybody was hurt. But I don't hear none of y'all. I didn't hear nobody talking bad about Vrabel then. Why? Because we were winning. Everybody want to praise Vrabel. Oh, Vrabel did such an awesome job. He did a great job with this banged up roster and got the number 1 seed. But now y'all want to, boo-hoo and cry for him because now he has a bad roster again, not dealing with injuries, but with guys he chose. Remember that part. Vrabel had a hand in every move that was made this offseason. So don't sit there and act like he didn't. Come on, y'all. Y'all are smarter than that. Y'all my people, but y'all know what I'm going to do. Y'all hold me accountable. If I make a mistake, I'm going to hold y'all accountable too. I'm going to call y'all out on your crap too. C-Dub, you're wrong, sir. So don't sit there. We had an issue with talent and roster stuff with 91 players being hurt. And we had to scrape the bottom of the barrel of all the practice squads just to put a team together. And now y'all try to say, well, we don't have the horses. Again, who had a hand in Andre Dillard being left tackle? That was Vrabel. Who had a hand? Who drafted Skoronski? Who decided Aaron Brewer was worth $4.3 million, which we know he's not? Who brought in Brunskill? Who brought in Chris Hubbard, who is now out for the season? Y'all can't say John Robinson did that because he didn't make none of those moves. Who decided to make Jack Gibbons a starter? Who decided when you could have let NWI go, you kept him, even though he's been pretty consistent? Who's decided to keep Craig Ackerman around on special teams? Come on now. I know I'm not the only one. Need to figure that out. So some of y'all need to quit blaming John Robinson for everything. This game was horse crap, and everybody knows it. Yeah, a win's a win. Yeah, this was not a good win. But it's probably going to be the last victory we're going to have. And no, I'm not going to block C-Dub. I'm not going to do that to him. I got too much love and respect for the man. I'm just calling him out on some crap. That's all it is. Talking about Vrabel deserves, basically, I'm blaming Vrabel and that he deserves no season. No, he doesn't. He's been here for 6 seasons. Okay, yeah, he won 2 division titles, went to 1 AFC championship, hadn't been in a damn Super Bowl yet. And everybody want to call him the best coach ever. Jeff Fisher went to 2 AFC championships and a Super Bowl and got cheated by a yard from winning a Super Bowl championship. Mike Vrabel can do that, then maybe I'll say he's the best coach ever. Right now, he ain't that good. So I'm just being honest with you. See what I'm saying? I'm freaking out like Stillman. No, I'm just telling you the damn truth. I'm just telling you the truth. Everybody can choose to either accept it or not. But it is what it is. C-Dub, I got love for you. You know I do. You know I do. And I appreciate you. But I have to disagree. Talk about comparing 21 to 23 every season. Yes, every season is different, but it's pretty much the same situation. The only thing with 21 is everybody was hurt. Here, you're pretty healthy, yet he had a hand in building it. Do I have something against Bray? Braves is an asshole. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. Vrabel is an a-hole. We all know that. He's an arrogant prick. We all know that. I told y'all years back his arrogance could destroy this football team. It's kind of happening, and everybody's thinking, oh, well, we got a victory now that everything is okay. It's not. It's not. And C-Dub, you're talking about Brock Purdy. You talk about Brock Purdy, you know, just because you draft him high doesn't mean they'll be great. And that's true. That's true. Just because you draft somebody high, that doesn't mean they're going to work out great. I mean, take a look at Carolina. Bryce Young ain't looking so high for a number one pick. Then the year before, they drafted a left tackle out of North Carolina State with, I believe, the number 4 or the number 6 pick. He ain't looking too hot either. That's true. But think about this with Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy is doing good for one reason, because he has a good coach who knows offense and knows how to put his quarterback in the best position to win and succeed. If Brock Purdy was here with Mike Vrabel, he would be just as bad as Malik Willis. And you know it. With Frank Reich, Brock Purdy would suck. In Arizona, Brock Purdy would suck. He's just in the right situation. That's what that is. Brock Purdy is in the right situation. That's why he's successful. And he does have a good team around him, too. That much is true. But he also has the right coach that knows how to put him in the right situation. So let me calm down a little bit, C-Dub. I apologize. I wish I could influence Amy, because if I would be right. I would probably have a whole PowerPoint presentation with about 50 pages of why Vrabel needs to be gone. And if this team wants it, they better show me. If they didn't show it in the second half, they acted like they wanted to lose that game. Herman Burns, who is your choice to replace Coach V? Well, there are 3 choices. Bobby Slowick, offensive coordinator in Houston, who Rand has familiarity with. Ben Johnson in Detroit. Eric Bieniemy in Washington. Notice how they say no defensive coaches? Don't want any of those. Offensive-minded only. That's it. Now, and maybe, and I forgot a 4th. Brian Johnson, offensive coordinator in Philly. Those are the only 4 coaches I want to hear mentioned for the job if Vrabel is cut, if Vrabel is fired. So I don't want to hear nothing about no defensive-minded coach being the head coach. Nah, and I don't want it. I don't want it. But let's get back on the game, because I kind of got off, and I'm not going to hold y'all up too long. But offensively kind of fell asleep in the second half. There was some misreads. And obviously, I like the fact that Will Levis did step up and say, hey, you know what? I did not play well in the second half. I missed some stuff. That's on me. And I appreciate the fact that Levis took accountability. So, the fact of the matter is, I did like that with Will Levis that he did step up and take accountability. Duncan and Raiders, I didn't think did too bad. Again, I got to go back and look at the tape. I mean, of course, it wasn't perfect. There are some things that both of those guys need to continue to work on. And so that doesn't mean that, hey, if we're in position to draft Joe All or Olu Fashanu, that we should just pass on them if Duncan comes out to be pretty decent. I would still take one of those two, move Jalen Duncan to the right, Dylan is to swing, and we'll be okay. That's what I would do. Aaron Brewer stinks at center. I think it's time we need to explore Corey Levin at center. But I know Vrabel won't do that because he loves Aaron Brewer so much. So, but offensively, there's still work that needs to be done. I will give it to Chig. He had 4 catches, 45 yards. Kind of finally looked like himself. Kind of looked like himself. Ian says, our defense looks slow. There were times that our defense did kind of pack it in the second half because they were chasing Bryce Young around. And I agree. Frank Reich was an offensive minded coach and he got fired. And the fact that he called a screen pass on 4th and 6 with the game and obviously his job on the line, I would have tried to call something a little bit more downfield if it were me. You only needed 6 yards. And it seemed like every play we were chasing him around, it did. It did. So on the defensive side, I think our defensive line started off very well. I think I think the defensive line kind of got themselves back on track a little bit. I mean, finally good to have an Arden Key appearance because I was like, I thought he was invisible. I thought he was invisible all year. Big Jeff did Big Jeff things. And Danico Autry with 2 sacks. I think he became I want to say he became the first since Javon Curse to have, I want to say, 3 seasons of at least 8 or more sacks on the team. So he has over 8 sacks on the year. And so I did like that. But I mean, it does make you ask the question: is the Titan defensive line getting better, or was the Carolina offensive line really that bad? And honestly, I think both can be true. Like Big Jeff got his sack, he got 5.5. Arden Key only has 3.5. The Nico has 8. The Nico got 8. He would have hit double-digit sacks. Now, I did like Big Jeff being on offense some too. Dionai says, Levis is average so far. Hope he gets better. We need to hit on a quarterback for this rebuild. I mean, I think there's some things Levis could be better at. I mean, he still has work to do. Ms. Ben said, didn't he use the coach for the Colts? Yes, he did. I don't know if I would believe in Bryce pushing the ball down the field like that. I mean, it does seem as if Bryce did not try to push it downfield as much. I mean, he's similar to Marcus in my opinion. He's I'll run the play you want us to run, coach, kind of guy. Like, I didn't really see where he did a lot of checks. I didn't really see where he did a lot of if he saw something change in the play. I really didn't see that. Again, I'm gonna go back and look at some film. I'm gonna go back and relook at the game and really try to see that. And I'll have that on Wednesday. But yeah, I kind of agree with that. You know, so I think defensively, we did take a step forward. We did a good job on Adam Thielen, although Christian Fulton with a couple of penalties was not good. And I will shout out Kavlon Wallace, the safety. I want to say I got his name right. Kavon Wallace is his name. He was all over the place yesterday. Did some good jobs on coverage. Um, and everything. So, um, let's see. C-Dub said, I heard the Panthers wanted. I heard the Panthers wanted Young. Reich wanted Stroud. Take the Panthers. Maybe the Panthers owner, his pride was hurt. He took it out. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, that kind of stuff can get you fired. You know, and there could be an issue in the Titans camp about that as well. But all in all, I thought it was a kind of game. It was one that was like, yeah, I could have been doing something else, you know, but love my team. So of course, it's like the old saying, like somebody, I can't remember who it was that said it. It's like, if you go watch a game like this, you must really love football. And so I have no doubt Vrabel is not going to tank. He's going to try to win every game he possibly can. And I get it. I understand that. I don't think there's another victory in the cards for it, because I think every other team that we're about to play the rest of the way is better than you. All these teams are in playoff contention. You're not. So that's that on that. I'll have on Wednesday some stock up, stock down. Make sure you also think about your nominees for the Two-Tone Blue Star of the Week and Dunce of the Day. Definitely do think about that. And before we do end this show, I appreciate the crowd that was out there. I know the conditions were crazy, the conditions were bad, but definitely in the lower bowls, a pretty decent crowd for this game. Again, congratulations to King Henry hitting 9,000 yards in his career. And yeah, I mean, I think Jalen Duncan, he did all right for his first start. Was it perfect? No, but it's something to build on. It's definitely something to build on. You know, you probably didn't call Jalen Duncan's name very much. He did have a bad penalty. But other than that, I mean, when your name isn't called that much during the broadcast, it's usually a good thing for an offensive line. But before we do get ready to wrap this up, of course, the report came out from the Boston Sports Journal by Craig Bedard about in regards to the Titans. And I'm trying to see if I can pull that up, because it was something that was written in the Boston Sports Journal in regards to what I'm trying to. I'm trying to see if I can pull up that report. Give me a second, y'all. But it was basically saying stuff about that there's not that there's friction between um that there's friction between um, Carthon and that there's friction between Carthon and Vrabel, and that um, even though Gerard Mayo is looks like he could be the heir apparent, that matter of fact, I forgot. I retweeted that. Um Let me see. Okay, here it is. Greg Bedard. Greg Bedard of the Boston Sports Journal, covering the Patriots. So there was a clip that said, quote, okay. I'm sorry. Can y'all hear me now? Okay. I'm going to try this again. So, Greg Bedard of the Boston Sports Journal, I'm going to read it again since it seems I had no sound. And we're going to have no sound. So I'm going to read it one more time for everybody. Quote, and this is just a snippet of it. He mentioned Gerard Mayo being the front runner, but he says, quote, many believe that Vrabel was put in position of being a strong head coach and wanted the hiring of Rand Carthon as general manager. This is incorrect. This was a shotgun marriage by ownership. NFL sources believe the league had a heavy hand in owner Amy Adams Strunk hiring Carthon, a top minority candidate. Vrabel and Carthon had no previous relationship, and it's believed that they don't have much of one now. There have been issues with Carthon's job performance even back to his 49er days. League sources believe that Vrabel could be looking for a way to force his way out of Tennessee after this season, and the Patriots will be an obvious landing spot, if not the front runner. Could the Crafts trade Belichick to the Commanders, Chargers, or Panthers and then secure Vrabel? It is not out of the realm of possibility. Now, that was just a snippet from the Boston Sports Journal from Greg Bedard. He was on Jared Stillman and Company about an hour ago. And in looking at all of that, you know, I do believe that Amy wanted Rand Carthon and Mike Vrabel maybe didn't. I do believe there is some friction. That I think this is like a shotgun marriage. And I think this is why this is very similar to the Malarkey John Robinson situation. Now, the part I don't really believe is the whole NFL had a heavy hand, basically making it seem that Amy Adams Strunk was forced to hire Rand Carthon. I don't think it had anything to do with that because there were other minority candidates. There were other candidates in line for the job. Ian Cunningham was one. I believe the assistant general manager for the 49ers also was in running for the job, if I'm not mistaken. I'm actually trying to see. I mean, yeah. Now, Amy Adams Strunk could have easily went just in house and hired Ryan Cowden. She could have also, she also had shots at guys like Glenn Cook in Cleveland, Ian Cunningham, who I thought it should have been down to Cunningham and him. Quentin Harris and Malik Boyd in Buffalo and Arizona. So, I mean, every candidate, I believe, was minority or anything like that. So, I mean, she had her choices. And so, um, you know, and they're saying they're questioning back to his 49er days on job performance. I don't know if I necessarily believe all of that either, because Rand was very highly regarded in the GM search. Other teams were looking at him as well. So, he was a director of player personnel. And I mean, a lot of people around the league had nothing but good things to say about him. So I don't really believe that there's an issue on his job performance, at least not yet. And I don't believe the whole Amy Adams was forced to hire him. But I do believe there is some friction between Carthon and Vrabel. Because Vrabel, we know, like I said, is an arrogant prick. He wants things done. It's his way or the highway. And we all know that Mike Vrabel is probably the one in control, because usually whenever like a big trade or something like that happens, the general manager is the one that would address it. Vrabel addressed the Bayard trade. And, this whole collaboration, that basically makes me tell Mike Vrabel is in charge. And Rand is helping him. He even said it in his introductory press conference. Because if Rand was really in control, Miss Amy would have been like, Rand is the GM, Mike is the coach. Rand is the lead, but they both report to me. So that's kind of what I think. I mean, I think there is a little bit of possibility that there is some friction. And Greg Bedard is well renowned. Like, now a lot of this is on the New England side. You're not really hearing it on our side. That's true. But I'm not going to completely dismiss the entire report. I do think there is some friction. This seem like a shotgun marriage. Now, the whole thing about his performance and he being forced to be hired by Amy Adams Strong, now that, I don't believe that for a hot second. But we don't, like, if you want to leave, just let them go. Well, they're holding on to him because they think they can trade him. And obviously, if the Panthers want, if the Patriots want him bad enough and are willing to trade, you don't fire him yet. Because if you fire him, Patriots can get him for free and you get nothing. And if you trade him to the Patriots, you ain't got to pay him. So, it may say that in the article, but I don't believe that that's going to be the question right now. So, and the missus, I appreciate you tuning in. So, yeah, I think there is some friction. And Rand needs to put his foot down and say, look, either get to winning or get to stepping. I got a guy in Houston that I could bring in right now that I think can fix our offense and can help Will Levis and not ruin him. So we're definitely going to see. But no, that article was from the Boston Sports Journal. It was from the Boston Sports Journal, and was written by Greg Bedard, who is very respected within. Now, I know Diana Rossini, she came out with her report saying she talked to some high officials, and they said Vrabel's not going anywhere, and that they believe he's the long-term coach of the future. No trading to New England, no firing, none of that. Now, I don't know how long ago Diana spoke to whoever. Normally, if it's coming from Diana, it's coming from Mike Vrabel. Normally. But there probably is some friction there. Remember what happened when Will Levis was announced as the starter? Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport came out and said, expected the Titans are going to start Will Levis at quarterback. And as soon as Miss Teresa asked Mike Vrabel about it, he quickly got defensive and said, I didn't say that. Clearly, somebody did. Somebody let the cat out of the bag. And big dog like Amy fired J-Rob after we got blown out by the Eagles. And remember, Amy Adams-Strunk loved John Robinson too. So just because it is claimed that Mike Vrabel is safe, things can change in the blink of an eye. They did the same thing with Mike Mularkey, and I'm glad Stillman brought that up, and some others did too. A week before Mike Mularkey got fired, remember during the Kansas City game, because I was at the George Jones in Nashville. I was living in Nashville right before the Kansas City game in the playoffs. Jared and the late Mr. Floyd, they were at the Wild Horse Saloon next door doing the pregame show. And they were talking about this because Adam Schefter came out and said that Mike Mularkey felt he didn't have the confidence from ownership. He felt that his job was on the line, that he was going to get fired, and all this and that. And so after the Kansas City game, note came out from Amy Adams-Strunk, Mike Mularkey is our head coach going forward. And then a week later, after the New England game, he got fired. It could be the same situation here. So we're definitely going to find out. I mean, hey, I know CW said, like, how, somebody said, well, how would they know? Mike Mularkey's retired. Dion said, how would they know about our situation? Hey, people talk in the NFL. Insiders, their job is to get the scoop. They talk. Why do you think Jim Wyatt works for the team right now? To shut him up. Because Jim Wyatt was working for the Tennessee for years and years. He would always get the scoop. He would know what's going on. He was the Titans insider. He was the guy, like, if there was a trade happening or a player might get signed here or there was an issue, he would talk about it. So the Titans decided, let's give him a high-level job, but let's keep his mouth shut so that way he can only put out what we want him to put out. So it is what it is. And we're definitely going to find out how true all of this is. Because the Titans keep losing and end up at 4-13, and that means you've lost 20 of your last 24 games. I don't think that's going to sit too well with Miss Amy. Not at all. Now, again, said most insiders do it for clicks. But here's my thing. People like Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport, those guys I give validity to. They are really, really in the know. They don't do it for clickbait. They do it because they've really found out something. And to the most, I would say the same for Diana Rossini, even though if she's really tapped into the Titans, she's tapped into Vrabel. Like I said, same thing with TD. If he comes out with something from the Titans, I tend that is pretty much true because he's there. Now, some of these other guys, maybe an Albert Breer as well, but then some of these other so-called insiders, yeah, I don't really give credence to them. So we're going to see. But everybody, I think that's going to just about do it for this post-game show. We got the Colts coming up this week. on Sunday. We're definitely going to talk about it on Wednesday. We're definitely going to get into that. Get into the Colts game. Make sure you get your nominees out for the Two-Tone Blue Star of the Week, and also for the Dunce of the Day and everything. And says Rappaport is usually solid. Adam is off more than Rap. And Teron I really like. And so again, yeah, Adam can be a little bit wrong at times, but the majority of the time, Adam Schefter's on it, as is Ian. But everybody, I want to say thank you all for tuning into the show. I hope everybody had a great, happy Thanksgiving and everything. Wednesday, we're going to get it on. We're going to talk Colts, and we're going to get ready for this game and, see if the Titans finally get a division win. So everybody, y'all have a good one, and y'all tighten up, because that's all we know how to do. Good night, y'all.